Hey, so today we'll be watching Ōoku, The Inner Chambers, episode 9. And before I get into the episode, I just wanted to give an announcement. It has to do with Candy's health. So, me and my mom took her last night to go get her ultrasound done at the vet. And when she was done getting the ultrasound, the vet called us into her office. And basically what she said was that there's nothing that they can do. Candy has cancer all over her body. She has a tumor that's pushing all her organs away from where they're supposed to be. Both her kidneys are shutting down, and also her lymph nodes don't work. So she said that really it's only a matter of time. That right now Candy's fine. We don't have to make a decision right now. Since I mentioned to her that Candy's been active, especially of lately. She's been running around like crazy, barking for attention, barking at other dogs. She's pretty active. She hasn't changed in any way. She doesn't act like she's sick right now. And she says that probably most likely Candy herself doesn't even know what's going on yet. She hasn't really felt the effects of it, but her body is shutting down. That this happened between the last 8 months, because 8 months ago when she got her last ultrasound, everything came out good. So it just happened in the past 8 months, and really there is no point in doing surgery because there would be too much blood loss, and already the cancer is spread all over her body. At this point there's really nothing they can do. She just said to enjoy whatever time I have with her, feed her anything she wants, take her anywhere she likes to go, which in recent time, she likes to go to Walmart with me. So if I happen to go to Walmart one of these days, or just go randomly, I'll take her. We'll make a day of it or something. That it's only a matter of time. She could have a week left, she could have a month, 3 months, there's really no telling, but just that any moment, it could be her moment. So to enjoy the time we have together. And also, I know I don't seem emotional, but I did cry when I got the news. It's just, I don't know if maybe saying it right now, either I'm numb to it, or it will hit me later on, or maybe up until she's no longer here. I don't know. But at the very least, I'm not a blubbering mess right now, like I was last night. But what I did like though is that Candy's vet, Dr. Christina, she's always been very considerate of Candy. And Candy, from the moment she saw her, she's liked her, which isn't common for Candy. Candy isn't one to warm up to people quickly, but she warmed up extremely fast, Dr. Christina. And when Candy had to stay twice over there at the vet, everybody there had a lot of consideration for her. Dr. Christina and the other vets, they would take her out of her cage where she would stay, and they would have her lay down next to them, so she's not just stuck in a cage being depressed. She's seeing movement, she's getting attention, she is getting loved over there. And whenever I used to visit her, she would always get really excited. She was always trying to jump out of the cage and go home. But also, she's 13 years old. It's not like I didn't expect her to live longer, it's just that the fact that she's already 13 is a pretty advanced age for a small dog. And it's almost expected that her time wouldn't be a whole lot. What I also liked is that when she gave the news, because this is based in Mexicali, the veterinarian can't speak English. When she told me, my mom, and my brother the news about Candy, she said it all in English. Cause when I first heard her talking, I was like, oh, that's strange, she's not speaking in Spanish yet, like she normally does. But what both me and my mom pretty much assumed correctly is the fact that the reason why she gave the news in English is to make sure that I understood what was going on. Since I can speak Spanish as well, and I understand it, but there is some things that I don't understand in Spanish. And she took the extra consideration without necessarily having to ask, she just did it. And, well, I like that too. She's always been very considerate. And even more so now, I didn't expect her to give it in English, but she gave the news in English. She gave me and my mom a hug, and then she gave Candy a kiss on the head, and then we just left. But I did ask before leaving that if she would be the one to give Candy the injection if and when the time came, and she said yes, that she would. And that even if it was on her day off that we ended up calling her, she would make an exception and put her to sleep. And she did ask that as soon as we see that she no longer wants to eat, that she's just looking very depressed and not being active like normal, that to call her immediately and take her over there so she can be put to rest. Because she said the one thing that I ask is don't let her suffer. The moment you see there's a change in her, bring her to me so that she can go as peacefully as possible. I know she doesn't seem like the most active dog, especially right now, but this is how she normally is when I carry her, so she's a lot more active when I put her on the ground. Hi, Nudie. It's my sweet Candy. And now having said that, onto the episode. Where's my controller, Nudie? Damn it, how are we supposed to watch our show without the controller? Actually, this is a stupid question, dude. Can't watch the show without a controller. Here, Nudie. Alright. Smidge. Here, put you down really quick. I'll be right back, Nudie. I'll be right back. Found it, Nudies. Oh, okay, so she's not dead yet. Not her stubbornness. She had medicine that she stopped taking? Oh, Kasuga. What the? She's out of bed. The pledge to not get medicine unless her sort of son gets medicine? Okay. Didn't she already do that though? Oh, I guess because a girl doesn't count. She's got a point. But she's a wet nurse. She's not an old lady nurse. Why is her hair in a box? Oh. She's not doing her job properly. Narikoto. The man you dislike is gonna help you out more than the forced wet nurse. Oh god. The way this anime is, I swear. I thought it was gonna be another like, oh no, he's gonna sleep with her. Well, she was eating a snack, that's important. To the garden or? Oh. Oh. Or he's trying to be nice and help you out. You would have soiled yourself otherwise. Damn, he really is a handsome man. Handsome man or a lady who doesn't like you? Of course, Ariko doesn't like her either necessarily. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So? Oh. Oh, of course, it's still a genetic line. Damn, to make sure there was no rebellion afterwards. Oh. Oh wow. Arikoto? And it's not with Arikoto, oh my god. I wish I could have had this talk with Arikoto though. Took it upon himself to be her helper. He's always trying to find ways to help her without explicitly saying he's gonna help her, so she won't oppose. Is it finally in the Ōoku? I knew it! Oh god, but I knew it. You see, I knew this would have happened. Like the late shogun. Yeah. Whoa. What? He's gonna take care of all four of them? Oh. I guess. He's a quick thinker, though. He just said all that without even asking at first. Too bad there isn't such a thing as euthanasia for them. Well, at least if that helps a little bit, I guess. Oh, look at her trying to be nice. You probably expected him to be happy he felt ill. Aww. I mean, I think he still could, but she's not a male, so there's no fear of her contracting the disease. Though Lady Chie would probably never allow it. Dang. He's your son. Oh, okay. It was just to make sure there's some action done. Her medicine, isn't it? I'm not surprised. She's pretty stubborn. You see, he's like the best man in that place. Whoa. Damn. Finally allow female successors. Oh, so she actually does want to see her son in her final moments. Is he gonna succeed her? Is he the one who did the history book then? Yeah, that's what I thought. Why does it always have to be like when people are dying, do they finally accept the person they didn't want to accept in the first place? Well, can't believe this isn't similar-ish, isn't it? Oh. It's finally gonna be revealed. They're gonna lift it. Oh my god. Wow. Come on, Nitty, come on. So I had this realization last time, and I figured I'd mention it now, is the fact that I don't know why it took me so long to realize these past episodes have been telling us a story of how each role came to be, and why things are the way they are right now, 80 years in the future. It doesn't explain everything, but it does explain a majority of things. The roles that certain people have, the reason why they spend what they spend, all the rules in place, it's basically because of the female shogun Iemitsu and Narikoto. They're the ones responsible, whether they know it or not, of things being the way they are 80 years in the future. Then I'm wondering, the old man that we see at the end of the first episode, since I forgot his name, could that man possibly be Gyokia? And if not him, maybe Kasuga's son, though I doubt it. No, actually it couldn't have been, he would have been too old. Never mind. And it looks like Kasuga didn't die like I thought she did. She just fell ill for an extended period of time. And much like I thought, she was not taking her medicine. For what reason? Apparently it's because she took a pledge with the previous shogun that, although they didn't explicitly say, I'm assuming it has to do with the fact that she wouldn't take her medicine and get better until her shogun got better. As he never got better, she never took any medication for herself. Which really, what good does it do her now? He's dead. He's been dead for over 10 years at this point. I don't see what the whole point is keeping the pledge, but I mean, she's an old, stubborn lady. Part of the reason she collapsed and got sick is because of 1, not taking her medicine, 2, possibly the summer heat, and 3, just the fact that she was so stubborn and refused to accept change. All that made her become bedridden and then pass away. And it's almost always the one that they don't like for whatever reason is the one who ends up taking care of them. Or the only ones that show any real care for them. Lady Chia didn't go see her. Anybody else in the Ōoku didn't go see her. They all had respect for her, but yet they never went to go see her once when she was sick. It could have been in a way out of respect for her, so that she wouldn't have to deal with them seeing her like that, being the fact that she was so proud. But also she might have had hope that maybe one of them would have visited her. But none of them did. And the only one who actually did seek her out, besides her own son, was Arikoto. The man that since the day he got there, she hasn't really liked. I also noticed that's a common theme that when there comes with two people, particularly one with power and one who doesn't necessarily have a lot of power, when they butt heads and the one in power refuses to accept the other person, it always takes for them to be dying for them to actually accept them. It happened in this anime, it happened in James Cameron's Avatar, and it happened in the Disney film Tarzan. It always takes something drastic to happen for them to finally accept the one who probably cares the most about their people. Not to mention the fact that I assumed this would be more similar to what's happening in China right now, due to the fact that for a very long time, the Chinese government had a law in place where each family could only have one child, and in many cases when a family would have a child and it turned out to be a girl, they would either give her up to an orphanage, abandon her, or kill her. And after years of that law being in place, where practically every family preferring to have boys than girls, now they're finally seeing the ramifications of that. Since they had such a discrepancy with gender, they are now an abundance of males and not that many females. The females now have the upper hand, since basically the men don't really have many options. The females are now the one in charge and being extremely picky in what they want. It's gone to the point where apparently, in some cases, the families have to go all the way into the mountains to more remote villages and find females there for their sons to marry. Because that's just how bad it is in China right now. With so little females, they either have to marry foreigners or they have to go into remote Asian villages and marry their sons to one of their women. That's how I assumed it would go, with the fact that there's so few males and an abundance of females. I thought the men could still be as picky as they wanted, but it turns out, no, it's actually the opposite. Since they're just seen as breedable now, it's like they have to sell their bodies and just make sure to have a lot of sons or a lot of kids with a bunch of different women in order to believe they have any value, which is drastically different than it is in China. Also, leave it to us to see the episode where Kasuga is sick for a while then dies. After I made the announcement about Candy, I was like, wow, what are the freaking odds? But similar to them, we have time. We don't know exactly how much time, but we have time to spend together to make the most of it until her day comes. And I'm assuming it's allowed, I'm not sure though, when they inject them with the needle for the owner to be there. Well, actually, I think it is. I have heard that a lot of vet techs, they say one of the hardest things to see is when the owners don't go in with their pets when they're going to be euthanized, and once the vet injects them, their final moments are spent looking for their owners, probably wondering where their parents are. And I don't want Candy to have to wonder where I am in her final moments. I want her to see me, and the last thing that she feels is me petting her. I had trouble sleeping last night because since she's an outside dog, she doesn't really sleep in my bed. But since we just came from the vet and we told my dad that, we don't know how much time she has left, she cannot sleep in my room with me. And all last night, I would wake up every so often panicked if she moved or if she made any noise. I was like, oh, I'm trying to check on her to make sure she's fine. And she was fine every single time, but I just have to get used to it too. It's not like she just can't be gone by tomorrow or anything, but I have to get used to the fact that she's gonna be in my bed for a bit and I can sleep and not have to worry about that. Now we only have one more episode of this series to go. There's 2 movies I plan to watch with her, hopefully before anything else. Though I don't think we're going to be able to finish Apothecary Diaries since it's still airing and we've only seen up to episode 3 at this point. But whatever we manage to see, it'll be enough. Years ago, when I had another dog named Ruby, I've had many dogs, but particularly this one. Ruby was my brother's dog, although I was with her more often than he was. When she died, it was a bit different because back then it was only Ruby and Candy, and our neighbors back at our old house, they were taking care of these pit bulls for a bit. And one day, well, they were just doing, what small dogs do. They were barking at them through the fence, and I didn't necessarily think anything of it, and I called them back to me in order for them to stop barking at the pit bulls. And I believe it was that same night that it happened where I was outside and our dogs were outside in the front yard, and I had just gotten home from McDonald's. I was carrying some lunch fries into the house, and I just got out of the truck when I hear this noise of something breaking, and it was around, I believe, 8 o'clock at that point, and all I see is that the pit bull had broken a part of the fence and had come charging towards me, and I didn't know if he was gonna attack me or came to attack Ruby, who was in the front yard with me, but he was running towards me. And in that same instance, the pit bull almost got to me. Ruby jumped in front and she basically sacrificed herself to save me. Me and my mom ran back inside of the house, and my dad was asleep, and when I went to go get him to wake him up, my mom was screaming for help because the pit bull wouldn't stop attacking Ruby. And she did a very smart thing, because the pit bull was dragging her around as if she was a rag doll. So Ruby played dead, and that worked. The pit bull left her alone after that. And while the pit bull lost interest, she crawled underneath the truck. But once the pit bull realized what she had done, he went after her underneath the truck, and then Ruby finally ran inside the house, and Candy was in the cage at that point, and the pit bull running after her. So we had a pit bull in the house. My dad had gotten a bat and was hitting him, and one of the neighbors from another house ended up coming into our house and helped my dad with a golf club into chasing the pit bull outside. And at first everything seemed fine, even though Ruby had been thrown around like a doll. She seemed fine. She just seemed scared, and she didn't really act as if she was in pain. And well, Candy had witnessed it all. And it wasn't until I ended up getting a hold of Ruby in order to lift her up onto the couch because she wanted to get onto the couch. It was when I saw that there was blood on my hands. So of course, me and my mom, my brother, we took her immediately to the vet in Mexicali since they were still open. But at that point, the vet that is usually there, he wasn't there. It was just the vet tech. And what he ended up doing was, I think he ended up giving her something to calm her down. And when the vet finally got there, I heard him tell the vet tech, he said that he had given it to her too soon because her adrenaline was still really high, so she didn't feel any pain. That with the injection he gave her heart stopped too fast and she was going into cardiac arrest. And I remember because at that point she finally started to growl. They even had to put a muzzle on her because she was gonna bite somebody. So while my mom was in the waiting area, and I believe my brother was too, I was the one there with her when they finally gave her the injection and she passed away. The thing is, I was there for her when she died. But when it came to my pug this past August, I wasn't home. It was a Wednesday. I was at work 3 hours away. And I felt really bad because I couldn't at the very least be of some comfort to my pug in her final moments. Or at least been here to realize that she couldn't get into her house with the AC, which caused her, I'm assuming, to have a heat stroke and then die. So I wasn't here to maybe save her. I wasn't here to comfort her in her last moments. So I don't want Kenny to feel that. She was pretty traumatized after Ruby's death, considering the fact that she saw what the pit bull had done to her, and that the pit bull actually went inside the house and was actually trying to get her too. She was traumatized after that, and Ruby passed away in 2016, so here we are 8 years later. She's lived a good life, I'm just hoping that she knows how much I love her. And I know she does, but that she never thinks that I never once didn't love her. Now having said that, we can't wait to see what happens in the final episode.